Hello, I'm James Stephen, technology journalist at UC Today. Joining me is Art Nichols, the Chief Technology Officer at Windstream Enterprise. Today we'll be discussing SASE, Secure Access Service Edge. Hello, Art, how are you?
I'm good, James. How about yourself?
I'm well, thank you. So, an obvious place to start then is what is SASE?
Yeah, it's a great question. SASE was sort of coined maybe a few years ago, 2019, as a bit of a new and novel concept, but I would argue it's really just a combination of security technologies that have been around for some time, being coupled with software-defined networking technologies that have risen over the last few years. Taking the SD-WAN and the notions of software-defined networking, coupling them with cloud-based networking security, and trying to integrate those together as a holistic solution to enable businesses to operate in a secure environment where the workforces have been largely distributed. And so, one argument, and I kind of hold this position, is that there's not a lot of new functions if you kind of peel apart the alphabet soup that is SASE, CASB and DLP and ZTNA and the various piece parts. All of those have been around as point solutions and as discrete technologies for quite some time. Really, the novelty of SASE is to pull them all together in a cohesive and cogent kind of manner. So it's a pretty compelling technology driving forward.
Okay, thanks. And then why might a company consider using SASE for its network security?
I'm sorry, James, you broke on me there just for a
Sorry,
moment.
why might a company consider using SASE for its network security?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons companies would consider using SASE. I think are a lot of drivers really. The first, maybe most relevant or prominent, would be a distributed workforce that's no longer constrained within the confines of a business's four walls. That distributes the security perimeter. It makes it very challenging to ensure other nefarious sources aren't breaching the company's precious assets. So a distributed workforce definitely lends itself well to a SASE environment. The other, maybe as compelling component of this, if you think about historically, companies, particularly large enterprises, have had to seek out typically best of breed sort of solutions for their different security needs. You may have one solution for managing your digital rights and properties and securing your digital assets. You may have another solution for your IDS, IPS, yet another for your SIM and SOAR, and sort of managing all these events and the stream of logs that come in. That, it turns out, becomes challenging. It becomes challenging to maintain consistency of policy, of enforcement, to get visibility, to understand what's going on in your network. SASE really represents a way to try to simplify that, to try to pull it into single inspection, single policy management, try to collapse a lot of those applications and policies and functions into a common framework. Ultimately that improves the security posture of the organization. Being able to manage those things in a concise and consolidated way ultimately ensures your security posture is better. And maybe the last thing I would say here is, what we hear from organizations, and in some cases what we can even see inside of our own corporate entity, security operations is challenging, right? Maybe that's the piece that companies tend to have the least amount of confidence in. There's never enough. It's hard to find really skilled resources. They get spread thin across a constant sort of cat and mouse game across the industry, and so making those operations as efficient as possible and doing so in a simplified way, rather than through these sort of point solutions that scatter throughout and contend to kind of grow and promulgate without bound. That's really important, and it's vital. That's one of the main reasons that we see companies adopting SASE going forward.
Okay, thanks. And how can SASE improve the end user experience? I read, for example, that SASE can improve communications for distributed workforces. So is that true, and are there any other benefits?
It absolutely improves the end user's experience, historically, one of the challenges of security is it tends to be disruptive to the rank and file user, to the operational efficiency. It gets in the way. So when we have to go through 12 different steps to get access to the vital applications or data that we need as a corporate user, that pulls down on ultimately our productivity and our operational efficiency. When there are policies that restrict our ability to simple things, cut and paste from one application to another because of security concerns, those concerns don't go away, and SASE doesn't just wipe them away by any means, but it enables sort of through the notion of something called zero trust network access, ZTNA, and other types of approaches. It enables visibility down into the user, device, and application level. And so rather than having a blanket policy that is very crude, ultimately is not eminently secure and is disruptive to the user, this now gets really granular in the control and the ability to allow access to applications in a streamlined and smooth fashion. It replaces rather cumbersome technologies like VPN, virtual private network clients of yesteryear, if you will, and really sort of streamlines security at the user level so that there's a minimal disruption to the user experience and operational efficiency, and at the same time sort of maximizing the security posture down to that device plus application plus user level.
Okay, thanks. And then what differentiates your SASE solution to others on the market?
That's a great question. There's a couple things that I would point to that differentiates our SASE solution. Maybe first and most notably, we feel we're the first true SASE offering an MSP in the North American market. Certainly, maybe you say globally with some of our technology and partnerships that are really bringing all of those components, all of the alphabet soup that I mentioned, together in one cloud-native environment, one single pass enforcement, one single pass policy, pulling together all of the functions of SD-WAN with all of the functions of secure web gateway and cloud-based security. Most other MSPs and SASE providers in the space today have gaps, and so they're either through acquisition, bolting on to try to cover those gaps, which, as we know, kind of creates challenges in integrating that intellectual property and creating, as we spoke about, ease of user experience, ease of security operations. And so we feel it's really vital to sort of start with a fully integrated stack, and we are confident that we're at least the first to market. I don't know that we'll be the only to market with that capability. And so that's sort of what separates us. Going further, the other thing to say here is, even though this is a simplified, security is simplified by taking a SASE approach and a cloud-first approach, you still need the technical expertise of a trusted third party, of a managed services security provider. You still need the guys that understand, at least most organizations need guys that understand these technologies in real depth. And that's where we feel we shine. Particularly as you think about small and mid-sized businesses where, and really arguably most businesses, security and IT is not their core competency. So what we're trying to do is help businesses focus on, what their intention in the world is, how they're trying to make money, and pull down on some of the challenges that they have on maintaining this kind of secure posture. So we do feel like we're in a pretty unique and novel position in the space, particularly in the North American market.
Okay, fantastic, thanks. And then what lies ahead on your SASE roadmap?
Well, that's a great question. I mentioned North American. We're expanding internationally. We are pulling together, making more cohesive portions of the rest of our product portfolio. So speaking with UC today, so I'd be remiss if I didn't, at least mention our Office Suite, Unified Communications, Gartner leading solution, integrating that into our SASE portfolio, expanding that internationally. Our UCAS offerings with technology partners there, integrating those in a single pane of glass through kind of portals and apps, something we call WeConnect. But really trying to increase the level of interoperability and interaction between our product sets into the security portfolio. And then you'll see other functions come online. I don't want to give too many spoiler alerts here, but you'll see, part of the beauty of having a cloud-based and cloud-native SASE solution is the ability to move quickly and respond rapidly and innovate in sort of real time is greatly increased. And so, the rollout approach historically of having to manage firmware and version control of on-premise based solutions kind of goes away. And so not only are you going to see, near term, but you're going to see a sustained pace of innovation and a pace of technology and feature function release from us.
Art Nichols, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, James. It's my pleasure.
And thank you for watching. I'm James Stephen, technology journalist at UC Today. Please don't forget to like and share this video on our social media pages. So until next time, bye for now.